Coming up, learning to live with ALS. And what exactly is the Community Service Council and why is it important? This and more next on Perspectives. Hello, I'm Sam Jones. What in the world is happening to our hard-working politicians? You know, the folks who all say they're outsiders and they want to drain the swamp and return us to greatness. No, I'm not talking about the current occupant of the West Wing. I'll leave you to draw your own conclusions there. No, I'm talking about the smaller fish in the leaking barrel. For example, Democrat Tom Stites from Sallisaw, trying to get his hands on an eastern Oklahoma House seat, has challenged his Republican opponent, Jim Olson, to meet him at a gun range so that they can have a shootout using paper targets, of course. At issue, well, sir, it seems that Stites says Olson is using the Second Amendment for politics and that his opponent was born and raised in New York and he moved here 8 years ago, and we need to know if he really knows guns. Olson, on the other hand, says, we're not running to be the sniper of Sequoyah County, but we are running for state representative, and he points out that he's been endorsed by the Second Amendment Association. A shootout in the contest for 2nd District Rep? Well, at least Mr. Stites wants to use paper targets. But I did notice he didn't say anything about the state financial crisis, or overcrowded schools, or teacher shortages, or hungry children, or how to fix a number of other problems facing the state. Sequoyah County. Now that's where Pretty Boy Floyd is from. Oh, incidentally, we got word this week that Oklahoma received another extension to implement the Real ID. Congress, you see, passed the Real ID Act back in 2005 to make your driver's license harder to forge, but Oklahoma lawmakers passed a bill in 2007 to stop the state from doing what it takes to meet the requirements of that act. The reason? Who truly knows? But questionable mental health has a lot to do with it. Meanwhile, out in Arizona, 6 siblings of Republican Congressman Paul Gosar are appearing in an ad for his rival, Democrat David Brill. They're asking voters to vote Gosar out of office because they say he's broken with the family values. They didn't say what those values are, and calls to Gosar's office in Washington and Arizona aren't being returned. I'll bet they're not. By the way, Wesleyan University Media Project, which tracks political television advertising, says that 2.2 million television ads costing about $1 billion, with a B, about $1 billion in airtime, have already aired this election cycle. This is for races involving Congress and governorships. Boy, just wait till they get their hands on your taxes. Now, with all this strangeness going on, I'm reminded of what Will Rogers said back on March 13th, 1932, and I quote, "Dave Ingalls is running for the governorship of Ohio, but he didn't act like a real candidate to me. He was so complimentary about his Democratic opponent," end quote. Been around a long time, hasn't it? A lot of strangeness and a lot of humor too, and that's my Perspectives. Still to come, most people know that ALS is Lou Gehrig's disease, but beyond that, they know little else. You're going to meet some folks that have been touched by ALS when we come back.